Hello, everybody. Welcome to Your Next Level episode number 191. Our mastermind topic for today is my most memorable moments and how they made me feel. This is an extremely important topic as far as I'm concerned. It's not wishy-washy. It's because if you aren't in the business of trying to make people feel memorable, whether it's in your life or in your business, then you're either going to be losing friends or out of business, one or the other. Because it's important to make people feel special. It's important that they feel understood. It's important that they feel listened to. It's important that they feel memorable. It's important that they feel that when they're talking to you, you are the center of their attention. So that's critical as far as I'm concerned. So for those who are watching the replay, I want you to do two things for me. Whether you're watching it on YouTube or anywhere else or on my website, I don't mind where it is. But these people will be leaving in the chat, which I will put underneath the video, their links. And what I want them to do is leave links so you can reach out and not just say, nice to see you, book a time to talk to them. Book a time to talk to Mark Newsome. Book a time to talk to David or Brian or Alan or John or Evangelos. These people are really extremely experienced in what they do. They've been around a long time, and with their permission, I hope you don't mind me saying this, guys, because it's an all guys club just so far. With your permission, those people who are watching this replay, do you realize what you're getting? You're actually getting free consultation with people who would normally charge you a lot of money. So I would suggest you don't just pick a link or whatever it is. Book a time. Don't text them. Book a time to talk with them. Tell them that you saw them on the Your Next Level Mastermind. Then they'll know where you come from. But if you can book a time with them, they'll leave their links there so you can book a time with them. Make the most of it, because you don't know who they know. You don't know what doors they can open. You don't know what opportunities are there. Right? It's extremely unbelievable opportunity that you're getting for free. And just because it's for free doesn't mean it's not valuable. It's extremely valuable. So please, please don't miss this opportunity to connect and talk with people who truly know what they're all about. Whether you're in England and looking for a commercial residential property investment, you've got Alan Edwards here, who's probably one of the best in the world anyway. Okay, don't miss that opportunity. Or you've got Brian McNeil, who is the sales champion of the earth. Okay, I just made up a new tagline for you there. Okay, or Mark Newsome, who I've known for such a long, long time back in blogging days and affiliate marketing days, and he is really where it is. John Allen, of course, a man who's all about trust first, okay, and more important than that, he can tell you himself about that. And Evangelos, who I think, if I correct me if I'm wrong, Evangelos, but you spent 43 years, is that correct? 43 years in the technology sector, right? So he does know a little bit about it, yeah. All right? So with that in mind, I will stop that. I want them to introduce themselves to you right now so you can listen to them. And when you're listening to them, feel, wow, this person is someone I need to talk to. Not because of what they do, but because of who they are. Right? What they do is fine, but who they are is even more important. So with that in mind, I'd like to start with you, Evangelos, if you don't mind, followed by Alan Edwards.
Hello, everyone. My name is Evangelos Kalohiro, business consultant with 45 years of expertise in optimizing company performance by resolving business and technical project-related issues. In addition to those, solving hidden strategic challenges related to mindset barriers that sabotage productivity. And I create a safe, non-threatening environment to help executives and management unlock hidden opportunities for their key performance indicators, growth, and operational excellence.
Thank you, Vangelis. Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Could you move a little closer to the microphone? Did you find him hard to hear, everybody? It was a little difficult to hear Vangelis.
That's the thing with Vangelis. He just needs to get closer to his mic. That's it.
Yeah. Would you mind? I mean, I'm asking
Let me make sure
permission,
it's,
but would you mind if you just were a little bit closer to your microphone and I'll edit the first bit out and do that again because it's very important what you have to say.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's better. That's much better.
Okay. All right. I've been in the business world for 45 years, and what I do is I optimize company performance by resolving business and technical project-related issues. And in addition to that, I help them solve hidden strategic challenges related to mindset barriers and sabotage productivity, because I create a safe, non-threatening environment to help executives and management unlock hidden opportunities for all of their key performance indicators, growth, and operational excellence.
Thank you. Thank you. Alan.
Hi, Peter. Hi, everybody. I just moved over to my phone because I was having difficulty with the sound on my computer. So I hope this is clear.
That is clear.
I'm Alan Edwards. I'm based in Hampshire in the UK, and I founded Alpus Group, and we transform property value. So what I mean by this is that when you get unused or underused commercial property that is obviously a problem for somebody because it's being underutilized, we transform that property into high quality residential flats or other types of accommodation. Thus, we're helping to solve the housing crisis in the UK. We also create homes for people that are affordable, and we along the way we get great returns for investors who invest in our service. So we create win-win solutions for lots of people along the way, and because of the change in shopping habits, there's a lot of commercial property that is unused or underused. So we've got a lot of opportunities at the moment to carry out what we do, and we love doing it. So yeah, look forward to hearing from anybody who wants to either solve a property problem, which is what we do, or wants to invest in this sort of property conversion strategy. I put my details in the chat. Thank you.
And is your guide still available for people?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Brian McNeil, followed by Mark.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian K. McNeil, and I am the Sales Confidence Coach. I will tell you, there's so many amazing entrepreneurs that offer services that genuinely do help others. But a lot of people that offer services, particularly intangible services that help others, a lot of them do not earn the money that they could or that they should. And very often they do not earn that money simply because they do not know how to sell it well, or they're using antiquated methods of selling that used to work in yesteryear, but no longer work now. And what I do is I teach them why people will say yes. I will teach them how to sell themselves, which they often forget, and their services better than they ever have before, so that they can earn the money. And I do it through my coaching, through my workshops, my webinars, or my books. I've written 7 amazing books. I want to say I'm super excited about being here, and I want to highlight something that I'm learning in my business still. One of the smartest things my business coach told me to do was about 3 years ago, was to start asking your clients, Brian, what do they really get out of the experience of working with you? What? Look at Peter. Peter is actually holding up my latest best-selling book called Mastering Sales Language. Eliminate these 21 harmful phrases and embrace words that sell. But the more special book in his hand is my wife's latest book. He's Always Higher Than Me. And that was such a loving bonus that my wife, when she knew I was mailing to Peter, she wanted him to have. So that's something special to me now that Peter has the book, because my wife thought enough of him to send it. But what I was going to say was, when I ask my clients and I send them messages, past due clients, we've got a note, and my wife's note there too. Thank you. What I am learning is, clients that we have served in the past, your stuff, if it's good, still sticks to them. But people are saying things to me, like particularly the past week. Thank goodness you're doing this, Brian. I need a refresher, or I missed the trainings. It doesn't end. So I'm going to suggest some of our best source of new business should be our old business, which is not new philosophy, but I'm just going to highlight it again. Brian K. McNeil, the Sales Confidence Coach.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. Mark Newsome, welcome to your very first Your Next Level Mastermind. It's lovely to see you. And he is an extremely talented and a very honorable man of great integrity. And I am delighted to have you here. So Mark, followed by John Allen.
First of all, let me say thank you. I'm just a little bit I've heard. I really feel bad that I've missed this, guys. And Peter, thank you. This is fabulous. And by the way, you guys, I am an avid blogger. Any of you want to do a guest blog post, reach out to me so that you can let my audience know what your expertise is. I'd love to have you be a guest. Peter, you owe me a guest blog post from years now. But anyway, very quickly, I'm going to piggyback on something Brian said. I go by the moniker of Mr. Marketing, and I want the non-franchise retailers, service providers. If you're tired of wasting money on outrageously expensive, what we call traditional advertising, please reach out to me. Let's have a free brainstorming session, because what I'm going to try to show you how to do is something that Brian just touched on. I call it lead generation, call it whatever you want. I try to show you to take whatever you already have and do something different. Like, for instance, simple analogy. If you have a bar, don't waste money on ads. Take that money and offer a free drink to all the women you can find. Because if you get the women in the bar, you'll get us in the bar. You understand? That's the mindset. You don't need to run ads. You need to find out what your customers want and figure out a way to give it to them. And what I specialize in is giving you a different perspective. In other words, Peter said 7 plus 3, Brian said 8 plus 2, I'm going to say 5 plus 5. That's all mathematically 10. David might say 15 minus 5. It doesn't matter how we get there. Just be open to getting there. So that's all I want to say. And one other thing, guys, don't be surprised if I reach out to some of you for a consultation, because there is nothing but star power in here, and we have to keep leveraging each other. Because like Peter said, everybody in here knows people the other people don't know. Why waste money, time, effort, and resources trying to reach those people? Did anybody in here see the classic movie 6 Degrees of Separation?
Yeah.
You know, remember that? It shows you we're all within a click or two of being connected to anybody on this planet. So I'm really excited to be here, guys. And like I said, don't be surprised if I end up Peter on the replay. I look in here and I start booking some calls with some of you experts. Okay.
Thank you, Mark. And please make sure you put your connection details in the chat, whatever you do. Okay.
Absolutely.
And a very good point. When Mark said about reaching out, he doesn't say that idly. He does it. What he says, he does. Okay. That's the thing I love about you, Mark. You're a man of action and you're a man of honor. And the most important thing to me in marketing, and you touched on it, Mark, and you're the marketing expert. I'm not going to try and get anywhere near that. But the key thing to me, more than anything else, is that when you're involved in marketing at the level that Mark is, people will seek you out because they believe in you. They actually believe in Brian, in Mark. They believe in him. And that's the key issue. The second thing is, in terms of marketing, which is also, I think, extremely important, is that you are giving people the opportunity to do something in a way that they feel comfortable in doing. And then that's how you get them in there. Brian has a completely different level of showing people how to make sure that the best of themselves shows in front of everybody, and he's good at that. He is really good at that. And Mark, you're good at generating the leads in the first place. So well done. I think you two guys should talk to each other, by the way. I think you should. I think it'd be a fantastic combination. And David, with your community homes, I think you should reach out to Mark and talk to him about some marketing strategies, because he's got some incredible ideas. I don't want to ask you to speak. I know you can't talk. Okay.
No, that's all right. Thank you, Peter. Yep, thank you.
Good. Make sure you reach out. Good. I mean, this is just family. It's just like a family here, right? We're not competing against each other. We're all working together. All working together. That's the whole point of it. And we normally have about 8 or 9 more than this, but it doesn't matter. John D. Allen, my brother from Canada, from London, the place without the Big Ben, all that sort, whatever it is. So, go. You're muted. I'm trying to lip read you, but I'm not doing a very good job here. No, can't hear you. We can come back to you. You want to leave and come back? That sometimes fixes it.
I think John should leave and come back, because we definitely want to hear it.
Delete and come back. We'll wait. You go and come. We'll wait here for you. Okay. Before we start on the topic itself, first of all, once again, thank you very much for your support and attention and coming, because there's a lot on at this time of the year. Someone said to me the other day, oh, December's a month when you can sort of slow down. I beg to differ. I think December is a month when you can definitely set up 2025 to the greatest extent you possibly can do it. And you should be working your tail off right now. That's what I believe. I don't know whether you agree with me, but that's what I think, right? So for those who couldn't make it tonight, here are some people who are very, very good supporters of ours, and they couldn't make it. One is Christine Best. Last time she was here, Alan, she sang you a song, if you remember, right? So Christine sends a love to you, and she says, if Alan needs a smile, tell him to reach out. She'll sing you another song, right?
Right. Thank you very much. Yeah, cheers.
Thank you. Glenda Crowell, those of you who have reached out to her, thank you very much. She is extremely worried about her brother. He's not well at all, and he needs all the hope and prayers that you can give him, and so does she. Yvonne Jones, she's one of our, wonderful ladies. She just can't make it tonight, but she'll be definitely here. Next week is our last one of the year, by the way. Next week is the last one of the year, so make sure you get it there. Yogesh Kapoor, you may recall Yogesh. Yogesh wanted to be on here, but he's all over the darn shop, from China to Germany and goodness knows what, and he can't find a time that suits. Jenna Pacelli, she's got to look after a very sick daughter, so she apologises and sends her love to you all. And Joy Healy. Joy would have been the other lady, because, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apologies from ladies that would have kept you guys honest, right? They're normally here, by the way, Mark, but they can't. Joy, in fact, is having Christmas lunch right now in London, so I don't blame her for not being here. Anyway, enough of that. Here's our topic, right? And I'll take you. There's a little. I don't know what version of Zoom you're on, but you can raise your hand, and I'll take you in the order you raise your hand. The topic: my most memorable moments and how they made me feel. And it's important, the second bit is answered as well, because it's the feeling bit. It's the feeling bit that determines a whole lot of actions when we think about it, both in relationships and in sales. No feeling, nothing. All right? So think about that. My most memorable moments and how they made me feel. I won't ask you to speak, David, unless you give me the nod and say you want to. All right? Brian K. McNeil, hand is up. What are your most memorable moments? I would love to hear these.
Thank you, Peter. What a great question. I think this is one of these questions that's great because it's the way it's layered. It's a deeper meaning than when did you enjoy yourself the most, when did you have the most fun. But my most memorable moments, there's two that leapt into my brain. One is when I had an opportunity to be a featured speaker in Denver, Colorado for a large network marketing organization. And they had really, really spent a lot of money. They paid me a lot of money, but they had hired other top level speakers. They had a beautiful hall. They treated everyone well. And I knew that I was going to deliver my workshop, my talk. I was giving a keynote speech and a workshop, and I knew that I was going to be good. And the speakers before me, they were good too. And he had someone coming after me. But I felt in my spirit that I was going to be the star of this event, because I was prepared. So when I delivered, it was a crowded hall, a beautiful hall. I was comfortable. My pretty wife was with me, and I delivered an inspired, motivating, high content, learning, motivating keynote speech. And that's all people have been talking about in the 2 years since I've given that talk. I've earned money for 2 years straight off of that one talk. That was one. And the other one, the reason why I want to mention it is because I think it speaks to who I am as a person. I was in a Toastmasters competition where I wanted to win Best Speaker. It was at one of the higher levels. And there was another speaker that I really respected, I really liked, and I know he was amazing. And the way it was set up was he had to speak right before me. And I was the last speaker at this particular event. And his name was Wesley. And Wesley delivered a phenomenal talk, like I knew he would. He rocked the room. His talk was amazing. And I was really enjoying his talk, but I wanted to win. Okay. It so happened that Wesley's wife happened to have been the MC of this event. So, so Wesley rocked like I knew he would. And I spoke after him and I rocked too. As a matter of fact, the first words out of his wife's mouth after I finished was, okay, Brian delivered. And then they voted and I won. Now, why are these two events my most memorable moments? Is because when I was prepared and I expected to be good and I did, that highlights something for me. That does something for my spirit when I have an opportunity to deliver and I do. So those are my memorable moments.
Brian, how did it make you feel?
It made me feel like I was who I was supposed to be. I felt like I was doing me.
So for those who are watching this replay and they're listening to a guy like you, right, who did, for example, the featured speaker thing, and you killed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did that make you feel? Because I want them to hear this, because people need to understand it's all part of building their confidence, right?
Yeah, it made me feel accomplished, and it also made me appreciate the work it took for me to get to that place where I could deliver and could be accomplished. And it made me appreciate everything that led up to that. Hard work is its own reward. And I felt like I got the reward because I know I had worked hard to develop and bled and sweat and fretted over and tried. And I tried and succeeded. That made me feel good.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. That's the bit I
Yes.
wanted to hear from you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Vangelis.
Yes, I have a couple also. These are memorable because they were very pivotal moments in my life. One was I had just started working at IBM. I was working part-time as I was going to school. And then when I graduated university, they hired me full-time. And then I began working as a systems engineer. And one of the mentors I had, his name was Howard Hurlbut. He was a consulting engineer, and we had a call from one of our customers that was requesting assistance with an application. And he wanted me to go out and help him. And I said, Howard, I don't even know anything about this application. He says, well, what does this guy work on every day? I said, this application. Do you think it might be possible that he would know more than the people who actually wrote it? I said, yeah, because that's all he does. Right. So do you think he's asking you for assistance with the programming or maybe his methodology? And I said, probably his methodology. He said, good. Go out there and help him. So I went out there and just started asking questions. And apparently I must have asked a specific question after about an hour or two. And he says, oh, I see what I did. So I came back and I told Howard, he says, now, what did you learn? I said that I don't need to know anything, but just know how to ask good questions. So that has carried over until this day, 45 years later. I mean, it's just, it took away any fear when someone says, have you ever worked with this? No. Well, how are you going to help me? I know how to ask good questions. And I know how to ask questions that don't prompt for an answer that I'm looking for. So it was so pivotal, and it's just what happens. The second thing is kind of a follow-on. I was teaching workshops all over the world, like 6 different countries. And the first workshop I delivered, I noticed people were texting. And so when I went to my second workshop, it was within the same company, but in the same city. People said, oh, we heard this was good. I said, what do you mean? I just did it yesterday. Oh, yeah. They were texting like after the first 10 minutes of me working and delivering the workshop. So you don't realize the impact and the impression that you leave. And I think when you really give something from your heart and you really want them to really grasp it, you're not just giving information, but you're doing the best to make it relevant to what they're doing, so they feel like their time is worth it. So those two are memorable and also pivotal in my business career. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Thank you very much. And I can see why they're pivotal. Before we get to you, Alan, just very quickly, because I'm conscious of time, but I want to share this. Last century, I was a life insurance agent. All right. John Allen knows this story. Okay. And I was invited. I was part of the $1 Million Round Table Club. I'd made a lot of money in life insurance. I was a school teacher before then, and they invited me over to San Diego to do a presentation to 10,000 life insurance agents and agency managers about how to make money in life insurance. So I started and I talked to them about these are the things that are a complete waste of time. And it was everything that they were doing, right? Completely everything they were doing. They were doing traditional selling. Brian, you talked about traditional selling. These guys were doing it. That's exactly it. Fake it till you make it, act enthusiastic and you'll be enthusiastic, all that crap, right? Anyway, let that go. The bottom line is this. Half the room got up and started to walk out. And I just got the microphone and I was a little bit peeved, right? And I said, excuse me before you leave the room. You are most welcome to leave. I don't mind at all. But if you haven't earned 10,000 in the last month, I suggest you sit down. All right? Because I average more than 10,000. I'm going back 20 years, by the way, right? I average more than 10,000. Would you like to know how I did it? Or do you want to walk out and stay in ignorance? Your call. I don't mind. Now, that was pretty tough coming from the stage, and I'm a 32-year-old, pretty egotistical, I know that, but I was really upset these guys walking out. That's a memorable moment for me. They came back and they sat down, and in the end, they wanted me to do more. So, Alan, over to you.
Okay, Peter, thanks. Well, my most memorable moments are sporting moments, not business moments. So some of them are, in 1995, I ran my fastest marathon, 2 hours, 35 minutes, 36 seconds. And that made me feel fantastic because that was, the 4th best in my age group in the UK at the time. So, it's not extraordinary, but for me, it was very satisfying. And then I did long distance canoe race, a sort of longest canoe race in the world, 200 kilometers or 125 miles, some years before that, and won the Reserve Forces Trophy at that time. And then later, in 2011, I came third place overall in the Kazbegi Mountain Marathon in Georgia. That's Georgia in Eastern Europe, not Georgia in the US. So considering my age at the time, and that was the third overall, I was very proud of that. So I suppose that I've always enjoyed doing athletics, particularly running on the track, and it gave me a lot of pleasure to have control over my body and be able to do things and push myself to, quite a limit.
Well, Alan, I am so impressed. I mean, I'm a track and field freak, right? My son
Yes,
is
I
Olympic.
know. Your
He
son,
competed in
your
the
son
Sydney
is a great
2000
athlete.
Games.
Yes, we spoke about that. Yeah.
Yeah, 400-meter hurdler. But
Yes,
how old were you when you ran a marathon at 2 hours and 35 minutes? How old were
I
you?
was 45 at the time.
That is incredible. I mean, no one's broken 2 hours yet.
No, there are sort of elite runners who are sort of professionals and everything. But at the time, I was under a lot of pressure with a job and earning a salary and commuting and all that sort of stuff. So, I wasn't running badly for my age and for my
It's
amount of
fantastic.
time that I had.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic. Anyone running, I mean, even now at Olympic level, if you're running under 2 hours, 15 minutes, you're up there with the best of them.
Yeah. That's right. I wasn't at that level, but for my age, it was not bad. And
Not far off it, but
I found out relatively recently because I used to occasionally run against Steve Cram, the
yes.
world champion miler. Well, occasionally I'd run against him in certain races, usually cross countries in the UK, and I wouldn't get anywhere near him, for cross country races. He's a fantastic athlete and 10 years younger than me. And what I did find when looking at his profile on Wikipedia was the fastest marathon he'd ever done was actually 8 seconds slower than my time. So I was quite thrilled about that as well.
Well done.
Little bit of useless information.
Thank you. Very proud of you. Well done. Well done.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
You're a great part of the family. Mark, you've got your hand up.
Real quick, guys, I want to share this. First of all, I wanted to say, anybody that's on LinkedIn, let's get connected, guys. Okay. Now, I got two quick stories. When I was young, a young garden variety egomaniac, knew nothing about sales, Brian. I got a job working in a health spa, and we were supposed to sell health spa memberships. I didn't know anything about selling. I was just a cocky, arrogant kid from the hood that thought I knew everything, right? So one day after work, my boss, this guy Angelo, he's a multimillionaire. He was sitting and talking with me, just talking. And everything he tried to tell me, I refuted. I said, "Oh, come on, Angelo, that can't be right." Blah, blah. Finally, the guy said to me with a straight face, he said, "Mark, why is it I have all the money and you have all the answers?" And even as a naive kid, that hit me right between the eyes. I fell out laughing. He said, "I want you to go to the bookstore and buy this book called, I think it's Tom Hopkins. Brian, you probably know the old classic Tom Hopkins book. I Can
How
Sell
to
You Anything,"
Master
or
the
something
Art
like
of
that.
Selling by Tom Hopkins.
How to Master the Art of Selling. Thank you. Anyway, that was the first time I formally got introduced to selling. I learned about tie downs and all these things you guys all know about, which, as you say, is kind of old school now. But here's the other story I want to share with you. I got invited as a result of doing an article. I got invited to be one of the speakers at this big mega convention. So there was a couple in there. I didn't know this at the time. They invested in this self-published workbook I had. And here was the short of it. They had invested initially $7,500 to go to this fancy boot camp, hadn't made any money, put another $7,500 or so into the advertise, all the stuff they told them to do, hadn't made any money. And the lady came to hear me. They let me speak twice. The lady came to hear me the first day. She goes back to her room, talks it up, drags the husband. He'd see me the second day. They tell me 7 months later, he said, Mark, 10 minutes into your talk, I knew I was in the right room. And I said, wow, that's great. What have you guys done? He said, oh, we're officially in the $1 million round table now because of what we learned in your book. And we put $65,000 cash in our pocket. Now that I know you guys probably got stories 10 times better, but here's why I'm sharing that story with you, Peter, in the group. It made me really appreciate the fact that there are different levels of success and failure, and that these people told me they were on the verge of quitting. And he said he told his wife, I'm going to go hear this clown, and if he doesn't deliver, we're out of this thing. And as a direct result, I helped them turn the thing around. And I'm just tickled pink over that. I really am.
Well done. Well done. So you were more than just tickled pink. You were pretty proud of yourself, and justifiably so, right? Well
And
done.
they gave me a testimonial, written testimonial too.
Good. Well done. John. Thank you, Mark. John, are you with us on sound? No. I want to hear your story, John D. Allen, because you got a
We
stack
all
of
want to hear it. Come on, John. Don't be shy.
Go, baby. Come on. Give me that story.
John, go into your audio on the bottom left, click on the little up arrow and see if the microphone you're using is the one that is selected. Sometimes that works with me too. It got unplugged or whatever. There's a list of microphones, and make sure the one that you're using is the one that is selected.
Are you using
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yes.
How about now?
Yes.
Yep.
I just unplugged the headset, plugged it back in. Lord only
John D.
knows.
Allen, over to you.
Couple of the things I've had, and it's really inspiring listening to all of you guys. One of the couple that I'm really proud of, made me feel good, was I've been working with this headhunter for out of Windsor, Ontario, and he was doing a lot of headhunting in Detroit, what have you. And the company sent this guy a letter. One of the big companies in Detroit sent the guy a letter and said they were going to cancel his service. I'd only been working with the guy for a couple of weeks. So he said, what should I do? And I said, well, rather than just phoning him or emailing him, go over and see him. So he goes over and sees this guy. Had to see the VP. And it turned out one of the guys that worked for the VP didn't like this particular guy. Didn't know why, but he didn't like him. So he ends up talking to the VP and he said, I don't know what I did, but I apologize and blah, 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 and all the rest of it. The VP gives him a $75,000 contract that day when he walks out. 6 months later, he got another $75,000 contract from the guy. And it was all just because he went over to see him rather than an email of, gee, I'm sorry or whatever, right? So it was just to go see and talk to the guy, ask better questions. The other one I'm really proud of, there was a videographer I was working with out of New Jersey. When she started, she was charging $800 to $1,200 for a 30-second commercial. And she was doing all the writing and all the filming and everything else. And I said, hey, you're a nonprofit organization in more ways than one. I said, look at your paycheck because you haven't got one. And so we've been working together in 7 months. She specialized with dentists. So I said, go to a dentist that specializes in kids. They really need your help. That dentist paid her $4,500 or $5,000 for that same 30-second commercial. So she was really amazed at that. Then she got a referral from an eye doctor, or the dentist gave her a referral to an eye doctor that dealt with kids. Sold him the same basic 30-second commercial for $4,500 or $5,000 for the same thing she was charging $800 to $1,200 for. And she realized that, hey, if you want better clients, you got to go to a better place to get them. So rather than working with local bands and orchestras, she upped her client level. And that's something we can all learn from. The other thing is, you stop and look at all the people in this room. There's over 400 years of experience. So if anybody is watching this video on replay, that's a lot of experience that's just sitting in this room, people that could talk to you. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you, John. Nice to hear you. Nice to hear the sound. Before we wrap up, has anyone got some final words to say, Vangelis or somebody? Because we've got a couple of minutes. I know, Brian, you got to run soon. Has anyone got anything you'd like to add?
Yes, Peter, one quick question. John D., I noticed on your bio, are you doing direct response? Because I mean, it looks really, really sharp, man. Your 3 points that you covered. So are you on LinkedIn?
I'm on LinkedIn. Now, I do
Okay, I got to look you up. I got to look you up. But I'm going to look everybody up. But I'm saying I really like it. You got a nice looking approach there.
Yeah, look up John D. Allen Small Biz Coaching.
Ooh,
and
love it.
And
I'm
Mark,
on it, buddy.
look in the chat. In fact, do me a favor, save the chat. Brian McNeil's just put his LinkedIn profile in there as well. Okay, so click the 3 dots and save the chat. All right.
Click the 3 dots. Where are the 3
At
dots?
the top.
Oh,
At
3
the
dots
top.
at the top.
Right.
Fellas, I knew it would be amazing. I do have to run. I start a podcast in 7 minutes and I got to get down the hallway there. So thank you very much. I'm glad to meet everybody. Good. Welcome aboard again, Mark. Thank you, Peter, for being an excellent host.
All right, matey. I'll see you next week for the last one for the year. Take care. Okay. Anyone else before we go?
Oh, great meeting. A lot of really great stuff shared today. Thank you.
Okay.
Glad you're looking well, Peter.
I'm a little bit more relaxed than I've been for a little while.
Yeah, it shows.
For lots of reasons. And thank you. And I want to say thank you to all of you. For Mark, this is new for you. But let me share this with you. I don't have commercial interest in this Facebook community, but it's like they're like family to me and they're friends. Okay, and we help each other and we go out of our way to do that, which brings me back to one important thing, because when you were talking about marketing, and the key thing that I think many people miss when it comes to marketing is they talk about referrals. All right, I think there's a much more powerful way to go about building your business than referrals, right? Because referrals are nearly a giveaway thing. It's a little bit like saying, yeah, send me a proposal, I'll get back to you, right? What is much more powerful is for Mark, for example, to personally introduce Vangelis to John Allen. Not just send him an email saying you should contact John Allen and tell him I sent you, but to personally introduce him. That is an incredible way of marketing, I think. And it's an incredible way of building a business. It's putting a personal touch into things. And because in this day and age of AI, the personal touch is being copy and pasted out of it when you think about it. And that really bothers me a lot. Really does bother me. True. Especially when you see posts on LinkedIn in particular. It's obvious. It is truly obvious that it ain't them. They've just done the copy and paste special, right? Who gives a rat's? They don't care. People don't care about it. They want to see the imperfect Alan Edwards. They want to see the best of Vangelis. They don't want to see some chat GPT bit of palaver. Sorry, I'll get off my horse now. I'll shut up. Sorry. I've had my
Peter, let me share one last quick thing.
Please go.
There's 6 of us left on here. Let's suppose every one of us are self-made multimillionaires. And I want to get you guys. But I know John. I don't know the rest of you guys. We all are a member of a country club. So you know what I do? Rather than spend, and let's say I'm a jeweler, rather than spend money on advertising, I'm going to give John a $10,000 Rolex at cost. Now, when he goes out on the green, what do you think is going to happen? David's going to say, hey, man, I love that watch. Where'd you get it from? Oh, you got to talk to my jeweler friend. Oh, Mark Newsome. That's a much better way for me to use my money than running an ad on radio, social media, and all that. Just like what you're talking about. That's more personal. Then I find out John's got a wife, a girlfriend, or a daughter. I hook them up. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to go back to their circle of influence, and they're going to say, girl, where'd you get that bling? I'm going to get the business, and I'm going to build an army. All of these top women, Marie Forleo and all these women, I'm a jeweler, you jewelers, get to them and give them some of your best looking bling at cost, or give it to them free. Tell them when they do Facebook Lives to rock your bling, and watch and see what happens to your bottom line. I just had to put that in there, Peter, because you mentioned referrals. So you don't need to waste money. That's the kind of thing, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, that I do. If that doesn't make sense to you, I'm probably not your guy.
I would suggest that you all I mean, Mark and I have known each other for more years than we prepared to admit. I mean, we're talking about decades,
It's
right?
true, but
So I would strongly recommend you all reaching out to Mark, because he's got an incredible talent, and he's also, I told you before, I mean, I'm not trying to blow smoke at him at all, but he's a man of integrity and trust and faith, and that to me is extremely important, very important. And that's the reason why I invited him to join this community, because he's a perfect fit for it. That's what I'm saying. So thank you, everybody. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you next week. And thank you again for your support, your contributions, and more important than that, and for your love. It's very special to me. Okay.
Thanks, Peter. Cheers, everyone.
Take care.
all right.
Bye.
See you guys next week. Beautiful.
Okay.